Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we'll learn about the Vienna Gambit. The game starts with e4, e5, knight c3, and you know this knight c3 is so uncommon in the opening. Like in normal opening, we go for knight f3 with the idea to attack to the pawn, and black simply developed knight at c6 with the idea to support this pawn. But as we are not going to attack this pawn, now black will have the luxury to develop this knight with the idea that at some point he will soon develop his bishop, or maybe bishop will come to pin the knight and doing some short castle. So this will be his plan. On the other hand, he will be also attacking my pawn. So of course black will go knight f6, f4. Now in the Vienna kind of setup, whenever you play knight c3, there will always be an idea to push this pawn at some time, this f4 pawn. This is the only idea, that you are not developing your knight first. You are keeping your knight here so that you can push this pawn and later on you can develop your knight. Now from this position, black will have simply three moves. Now one, black can take this pawn, this is one. Another can be black simply support this pawn with moving d6, so that pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, is doing simply fine. Another can be simply developing this knight, and once pawn takes, knight takes the pawn, and another will be simply striking to the center directly with the move d5. So e takes f4 is possible, knight c6 is possible, d6 is possible, and also d5 is possible. So four possible moves is possible from this position. Now let's see e takes f4 first. E takes f4, e5. We are not going to take this pawn immediately, with not even like attacking this pawn immediately. We will simply push the pawn. Now you can see black has such an unpleasant position. Black knight can't move anywhere and he has to go back, and this is so unpleasant. So he will go knight g8, knight f3, d6, trying to tell this pawn that you do something, simply attacking to the center. Now we are not going to take, simply will support. The idea is, once pawn takes, even we are not going to take, like he may think like pawn takes pawn and then this pawn will take, then queen will take, but we are not going to take this pawn immediately. Rather we'll simply pin this pawn. Now how can do that? Queen comes and now this pawn can't take. Now so many idea exist. You can see now this pawn is pinned, so this bishop even attacking this one, and this pawn also can take. Now simply unpinning the pawn. Now we will be taking with the queen, knight c6 with the idea to the queen. But you see, just move comes so smoothly. We can try to pin this knight, we can go for castling, we will have open file for the rook, we have knight to go here, we can even develop our bishop by taking this pawn. So this is so smooth game for white. Now simply pinning the knight, attacking the knight, knight takes pawn, b takes c6, bishop takes g4, knight f6. Now white will do long castling, and you just see like black position is so unstable. Like black will have to do castling the next move, but this pawn will fall. White has strong center, connected pawn. Black's pawns are not connected, so this will be the easy win for white. Now let's see another combination. At this position, without taking this pawn, if knight c6 happened, what would have been? Now knight c6, f takes e5, knight takes e5. Now just see how this pawn will harass these knights. Pushing the pawn, knight c6, again pushing the pawn, knight g8, and knight f3. Now you can see the position. This two pawn is so strong, central pawn so strong, and even white is not losing any pawn as well. Like same, white has 7 pawns and black also has 7 pawns. So white is doing great, at the same time has a strong center, developed his 2 knights. On the other hand, black has only 1 knight developed, and he has so weak center, no place as well to develop this knight. Maybe when this bishop, if bishop goes here, this knight won't have any place to go. So this is simply winning for white. Now let's see, without playing knight c6, or even without not taking, if d6 would have happened, then let's see, d6, knight f3, simply developing this knight and supporting this pawn. Now threatening to take this pawn in the next move. So of course supporting that, pinning that knight, e takes f4, and now just see how strong center white has, and even white bishop is attacking this pawn. Now a6, bishop goes back, knight is 7, and now bishop takes f4, and just see how white's pieces are developed. White has strong center with the 2 pawns, white has strong knight, white has to bishop. Everything is developed from white's perspective, but black is not doing anything at all. Now knight g6, attacking the bishop, supporting this bishop by lifting the queen, at the same time clearing the path for king for castling, and bishop e7 completed just the development, and now going for the long castling. So this is simply winning for white, like a smooth game, developed all the pieces, and you see how black's pieces are lack of space. Now let's see what would happen after f4 without not playing this, not taking this. Another move is pawn d5, and this is the sharpest line you have to remember. Now d5, f takes e5, knight takes e4. Now you have to remember that you simply can't take the pawn, and you have to remember one thing, that black is threatening to go for the check at any time. So we have to stop this check first. So knight f3, supporting this pawn, at the same time not allowing him to come. Now knight takes c3, p takes c3, bishop e7. Now just see, after pushing this pawn, how strong center white will have, and at the same time white bishop will go here with, at some point, from Greek gift kind of setup, pushing this pawn, supporting this knight, developing this bishop. This is a wonderful game for white. So hopefully you love this video. I'll keep it short. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.